What I'm about to share with you may be life-saving. You've probably heard that another round of medical tyranny is planned, and your heart is telling you, I am not going to comply. But do you know the lawful standing for your non-compliance? I'm going to distill it for you now, and I'm doing this for myself as well, to remind me of what I need to do if I'm ever face to face with a would-be enforcer who is trying to act under illegitimate and unlawful authority. I need your non-compliance to help me with my non-compliance, and vice versa. And it all comes from this book, and I'm going to give you a link for a free ebook version of this book in the video. The first thing to understand is that legislation is not law. An executive order is definitely not law. And any other decree or regulation issued by politicians or bureaucrats is not law. Never was, never will be. But even people who claim to be for medical freedom, including lawyers, make the mistake, and it's a colossal mistake, of calling legislation law. I will rebuke anyone who says, for example, Congress passed such and such a law. No, they didn't. Congress is not capable of passing laws. Congress is a corporation. The US government is a corporation. All they can write is company policy. Same goes for any government or parliament in any country, and almost all of the courts for that matter. If any would-be enforcer says to you, you have to do this, this is the law, or this is a mandate, you say, show me the document that says this, and show me where I signed it. Without your signature, these corporate contracts are not worth the air they're written on. But there are other documents that are lawful, and if there's one document you need to carry around with you or memorize, it's the Universal Declaration on Bioethics and Human Rights, Article 6. It says, any preventive, diagnostic and therapeutic medical intervention is only to be carried out with the prior, free and informed consent of the person concerned based on adequate information. Memorize it or print it out, whatever you need to do. No preventive intervention without consent. What is preventive or claimed to be? Masks and jabs. No diagnostic intervention without consent. What is diagnostic or claimed to be? Tests, whether PCR tests or any other type of test. If you're ever in a hospital, refuse the test for whatever current disease or variant du jour they're trying to weaponize. Then they can't funnel you into the death protocols. Masks, injections, tests, pills, therapies, whatever, you have the absolute and inalienable right and authority to refuse all of it. Now they will try to assert that because of such and such an emergency, your rights are suspended. They could not be more wrong. Rights apply more during emergencies, not less. Let me say that again. Rights apply more during emergencies, not less. And that's spelled out in another milestone of international law, the Syracuse Principles, paragraph 58. It states, these rights are not derogable under any conditions, even for the asserted purpose of preserving the life of the nation, unquote. Not derogable means your rights cannot be set aside, cannot be impaired, cannot be diluted. They are non-negotiable. A nation must fall before individual rights fall. And if you don't have individual rights, you don't have a nation anyway. Next, medical confidentiality. If the so-called authorities do not know your medical status, they cannot target you, discriminate against you, or persecute you on the basis of it. The Hippocratic Oath includes the statement, I will not divulge. And the Fourth Amendment of the Constitution states, the right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated. Any government or travel company or employer who demands to know your medical status is breaking the law, because they are demanding to conduct a search of your person without a warrant or any of the other constitutional things they need. Also, if you uphold medical confidentiality, then you don't need a so-called exemption. If you ask for an exemption, you are asking for another's permission to be exempt, and you are giving false legitimacy to their claim to dictate to you and play God in your life. The word no is, always has been, and always will be exemption enough. It is all the exemption we have ever needed or will ever need. If anyone asks you if you are vaccinated or not, it's none of their goddamn business. Now, if someone says to me to put on a mask, I'll tell them I'm not required to. And that usually takes care of it right there and then. If they come back and ask, do you have an exemption? I'll tell them that's confidential medical information. I'm not permitted to tell you, and you're not permitted to ask. And one last item of international law. The Rome Statute of the International Criminal Court lists persecution against any identifiable group among crimes against humanity, Article 7. Of course, persecution against any identifiable group includes persecution against people based on their medical status. Any act or statement of persecution by any politician, any media incitement to attack a particular group because of their medical status is a crime against humanity and defined as such.
To the person that sent me this video, I appreciate you and thank you. Everything that this man is saying is absolutely correct. A lot of this information we already understand and we are already aware of it. Sometimes we just need a little bit of validation. This book is a good book, and I'm looking at the PDF and I'm seeing everything that this man is saying. So yes, he is correct. We need to stand up. We know that corporate America has been committing crimes against humanity for a very long ass time. Corporate America is known for stealing, killing, and destroying. Elevation requires education because you can't elevate without being educated. Go cop this book because I just ordered this book online. It is important to have this information at this time because right now we're getting ready to head into another reset dealing with COVID. We know that the job of the enemy has already been done. Those who received it, now we're seeing the results. Many are dropping like flies and losing their minds. I got family members who took the jab and they are not even the same anymore. Those who have already received the jab are getting sick. They are the ones that you see in these hospitals. And the reason why is because their bodies have been injected with viruses and diseases through the jab. Ask yourself, how is COVID rising again? It's coming through the contaminated people that have already received the jab. They are walking, ticking bombs, and they are filled with viruses. And now, since the enemy has managed to get the vac placed into many people's arms, they don't have to do anything but sit back and watch their agenda be executed. And their test subjects pass on the viruses because it's going to come through the people. Only thing that they're concerned of is trying to get the jab into more people's arms. Get this book to educate yourself so you can protect not just you, but also your family. Corporate America is falling and trying to lead everyone to prediction. And they're trying to take as many of us with them as possible. Do not allow them to put fear in you. You are not required to do anything. And by law, they can't force you to do a damn thing.